What exactly are the costs of living here in Sarasota, Florida? That may be a question that you are asking yourself right now. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the exact costs and the cost of living here in Sarasota, Florida. And I will be sharing with you some actual statistics that may shock you as to how affordable Sarasota, Florida can actually be for living here. So let's get started. So actually, in fact, compared to other major cities across the United States like Minneapolis, New York City, Los Angeles, Sarasota is actually really affordable at the price range. And the benefit here is in Florida, we have no state income tax. So throughout this video, I'm going to be referencing what the cost index is. So the cost index is a scale of 100. So 100 being the United States average. And so I'm going to be basing that off of what Sarasota is so that you have a good idea of if Sarasota is more expensive than the United States average. And then I'm going to be sharing with you some other common cost indexes across the country as well. So the overall cost of living here in Sarasota is at a scale of 102.7. So on a scale of 100 being average for the United States, Sarasota is sitting at 2.7% higher for the overall cost of living across the country. However, once we break it down a little bit more, you'll see where the costs exactly are higher and where the costs are actually lower than the United States average. So before we dive deeper into the overall nitty-gritty of the Sarasota cost of living, I'm going to be sharing with you some other cost of livings across the United States so you get an exact idea. So in Minneapolis, on a scale of 100, Minneapolis is sitting at 106.5. So that means Sarasota is 3.6% cheaper for the cost of living in Sarasota compared to Minneapolis. And then in Miami, that sits at 123.1 on an index of 100. So that means that Sarasota is 16.6% cheaper if you were to live here compared to Miami. And then in New York, the cost of living on average is at 187.2 on a scale of 100. So that means that New York is 45% higher cost of living than compared to Sarasota here. And then San Diego, lastly, is sitting at 160.1 on a 100 scale index. So that means that Sarasota is 36% cheaper to live here compared to in San Diego. So now that I shared with you just some common overall, overview of the statistics here living in the United States, I'm going to be sharing with you like the exact costs here in Sarasota. So for a family of 4, you can estimate to spend anywhere about $3,600 a month, and that does not include rent. And then if you were just a single person living here in Sarasota, the monthly estimated costs are to be around $1,000 to around $1,500 per month without rent. So for our first category here that we're going to be breaking down is food and groceries. So living in Sarasota on a scale again of 100 on the index scale, the United States being 100 as average, Sarasota is sitting at 106.5. So that means that living in Sarasota, cost of food and groceries are 6.5% higher compared to the United States average. Next is we have housing. So housing currently sits at 114.4, which means that it sits 14.4% higher than the United States average. And the median home price here in Sarasota is $264,000. So according to NAR, or the National Association of Realtors, the United States home average or the sale price is sitting at $295,000, and that has increased 3.5% over the last year. So next we're going to talk about utilities, which means like water, sewer, electric. So currently on a scale of 100 again, Sarasota is sitting at 94.2. So that means that Sarasota is 6.8% lower for the cost of utilities compared to the United States average. So now on to transportation, which means if you're using public transportation or if you're just using your own car to go to get to and from places. So currently Sarasota is at a scale of 90.9. So that means that Sarasota is 9.1% lower than the United States average of 100%. Next, we're on to health and healthcare. So on an index scale of 100, once again, Sarasota is at 97.6, which means that they are sitting at 2.4% lower for the cost of healthcare compared to the United States average. So finally, we're going to be talking about like miscellaneous things, some more, things that you may want rather than needs. So miscellaneous on another scale of 100, the United States being, the 100 on the index, Sarasota is at 101. So which means that miscellaneous items or, wants that people have, that is 1% higher in the cost compared to the United States average. So after reviewing all this, like what really shocked you? Like I'm very curious because for me, once I learned about all these statistics, what really shocked me was the overall transportation costs here in Sarasota. Just being a little bit bigger of a city, I just thought that, the overall cost would be more reflective or similar to the United States average. But what actually really shocked me was the price of groceries and food. I honestly didn't think that moving to Sarasota, the food and grocery costs would be that much higher than the national average. I'm coming from Wisconsin, so, in Minneapolis, because that was like the closest, bigger city that we live next to, the cost living average was around 106 and groceries was at 109. So that's 9% higher than the national average. So from coming back from Minnesota, we are sitting at around, 3% lower food costs. However, I still think food and groceries is a little high here in Sarasota, but depending on where you're coming from across the country, this may be actually lower because, after doing some research and looking in other bigger cities, Sarasota actually does have a lower food cost than like cities like Miami, New York, San Diego, the other bigger cities that we talked about. So it all depends on your location, but those are the two major things that shocked me were the food and transportation. Leave in the comment section below what you thought was shocking to you after watching. So that now concludes our video of the overall cost of living here in Sarasota. I hope you guys really found this video helpful as far as, the overall cost of living in Sarasota and what things actually shocked you, because after learning, like I said before, I was really shocked to learn some of the statistics here. And so I really hope that this video brought you some value. And if it did, please leave me a comment in the comment section below. I love hearing from you guys. And if you guys really want to know more things about Sarasota, also leave those ideas down in the comment section below. It really helps and with, what you guys want to see and what things I post in the future. So until next week, I look forward to talking more with you about our next video that's upcoming. So stay tuned for next week's video and I hope you guys all have a great day.